As any startup will do, they'll look at sort of user requests, right? So consumer requests that come in through Twitter or through email or through a support website. And our number one request since we've launched has been, we love the concept of your iOS app. We love Apple products, but I actually use Android. And so our number one user request has been, when's an Android version going to be available? And this has been especially true of our non-US potential fan base.
Right.
And so, and then the second user request was, I want you to integrate not only with iTunes, which the iOS app currently integrates only with iTunes, but they wanted to have integration so that they can use it with their Spotify or their RDO accounts.
And that's great, and that does that. I got to use the app a little bit last night. It's awesome. I got to say, I know this is a little bit of blasphemy for me to say, but I actually think it's better on Android than it is on iOS, which you may right now. It's good.
Which is kind of crazy because you're an Apple cheerleader and fanboy.
I definitely am, and but what you made is really good for Android, and
awesome.
I think it's really cool what you're doing with the Spotify integration in particular. And is that something you can never do on iOS? Will you be able to do something?
I think you can, but I think that some of the advantages, there are tons of advantages to working on iOS as a mobile developer, and I think 10 out of 10 of the popular social apps out there on mobile will actually agree with that. But
right.
I think there's some distinct advantages that can be leveraged on Android, and so we're happy to announce today that we're launching our Android app, our SoundTracking for Android app here at LeWeb. Thank you, LeWeb, for giving us the platform to do that in France. And so we're happy to announce that as part of that release, Sabine, if you could throw up the slides, I'd appreciate it. I don't think it was on.
Just describe it.
Well,
there you go.
Great, thank you. So the two big features to talk about here is that now it's integrated in with a Spotify and RDO, so you can have full playback of the music that you share and discover through SoundTracking. And so whether you're walking, in the park, or you're sitting at a restaurant or at a show with your friends, when you're sharing these music moments with a photo and a location and checking it in and sharing it on Facebook and Twitter, if you like it, if you were moved by that moment and you want to experience that music, you can add it, you can play it back, and you can add it to playlists through this one-tap integration. So now you can tap it on the Android app and play it in full if you have a Spotify or RDO account.
And to be clear, before on iOS you could play the 90-second preview through iTunes, but this is the actual full song.
Right, on the iOS app you can play we use the iTunes API, so you can play the full song snippet and then buy the iTunes download if you want to own the song or add it to a playlist. So it's a little bit different on Android, and so that's a distinct advantage. And the other innovation that we've made on this app is that it does background processing in a clever way, where whenever you're playing music on your Android handset, it'll detect what that song is and give you a lightweight Android-style notification, and gives you the opportunity to share right there while you're listening to music on another app. And so this is, again, different from the iOS app.
So a couple more quick things I want to get to. I know we're running out of time, but first of all, be honest, was Android development a huge pain in the ass?
Android development takes longer,
yeah,
because you're worried about different screen resolutions and different manifestations of how each handset manufacturer deals with the Android operating system and APIs.
Right.
And so you definitely have to do a lot more testing and a lot more configuration based upon whether it's HTC, Motorola, or Samsung, LG. So, and there are a ton of other handset manufacturers to think about. So definitely, when you're building to iOS, you're building to one platform and one device, or 3 devices. But when you're building to Android, you're building to one operating system with several different flavors. Mm-hmm. And I think they even kind of use that metaphor in their releases as well.
Right, the ice cream flavor.